Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 2nd June 2018. The first article, Chasing a Rainbow Alliance. It is based on the recent by-poll results in which BJP has lost significant number of constituencies. In other way round, this is a contradiction. Why? BJP is able to win the general elections, but it is losing fast on the by-elections. What might be the difference between the two? And the second thing we need to analyze is Karnataka elections, what it signifies to the national politics and national parties by and large. The first question is, various opposition parties, they are coming together, and a wider understanding is happening against BJP. In these circumstances, BJP is seen as a common enemy. If we see 2014 elections, BJP has got only 31% of the votes, but it was able to win absolute majority. Majorly, it can be attributed to first past the post system, that is our election system. Today, BJP, if it loses some 2 or 3% of the votes, then the number of seats it is going to lose is expected to be remarkable. Now, if political parties come together, will it transform into the seats? In politics, 2 plus 2 will not always be 4. If the political parties which are coming together are complementary to each other, then the votes add up and that convert into seats. On the other hand, if they fail to aggregate, ultimately that leads to the loss for these coalitions. That is what Ravi Shankar Prasad was stating yesterday. In Indian politics, the political parties, when they come into an alliance, votes never always sum up. And second aspect, in Karnataka, Congress, a national party, agreed to be a junior partner. So, BJP, on the other hand, in Maharashtra did not agree itself to be a junior partner and wanted to be a senior partner with regard to alliance is concerned. So, finally, the national parties and the state parties, do they need to work, or we are moving towards the hegemony of the national parties again? That is what is another contradiction which we are seeing now. Finally, what we can say is, if BJP has to retain power, it shall be able to broaden its base, not just among the communities but also among the states. Till now, the first past the post system has given advantage to BJP. If opposition unites, that may act against the BJP. That's what this article talks about. Democracy project in Bangladesh. So you know that there are two parties in Bangladesh, Awami League, Bangladesh National Party. And in Bangladesh and Pakistan, there is a unique practice. So to conduct the elections, caretaker government, a neutral government is created. Recently in Pakistan, the caretaker government is being headed by a former Chief Justice. So in Bangladesh, that responsibility was taken up by the military. So in previous examples show that this military, which is supposed to step down from the office after elections, did not do that. And second, the military also tried to keep its favorites in the government. And this finally has become a threat to democracy itself. Ms. Sheikh Hasina has done away with these caretaker governments. And opposing this, BNP leader has boycotted the elections. Now, this is the background on which this article is being written. And on the developmental perspective, if you observe, the Sheikh Hasina government was able to achieve remarkable development in the social sector. So, Bangladesh today is totally open defecation free. And the second is, the Bangladesh also is able to fight remarkably well against terrorism. Counter-terrorism measures are very much successful. And third, 2 years back, we saw the Bangladesh as a nation which was illiberal because of the killing of journalists, bloggers, etc. And she was able to strongly curtail that. In this context, she has tried to protect the media voice. So we have certain liberal elements, illiberal elements in her decisions. But an agency, that is Bertelsmann Foundation, has given Transformation Index 2018. So in this, it has listed 58 democratic countries as turning to be autocracies, and Bangladesh is one. Now, how the West sees Eastern democracies as. It sees them as binaries. If elections are there and all the participants are there, they see that the democracy is stronger. So the Western assessment of the developmental democracies is more parochial because they are trying to convert them into binaries. That is what the essence of this article is. So many of the developments in Bangladesh are overlooked. Mixed growth signals. You know that the government has anticipated the financial year growth at 6.7, and it is more than the projected growth. It is due to the well performance of manufacturing sector and construction sector. So these two sectors are worst affected due to demonetization, and revival of the growth in these two sectors reflects that India is out of the ill impact of the demonetization. That is first thing. And the second thing is, in India, we are able to promote or we are able to achieve strong growth with regard to services sector too. However, there are certain worry points. The international crude oil prices are rising, which ultimately leads to inflation in India. And this inflation can hurt the growth. And revival of exports, it's still to happen. And third most important thing is, the demand need to be created in the economy. It only comes if consumer purchasing power has increased. So the consumers purchasing is still not effective or effectively increased. That's where we see the problems. So the mixed growth signals which we see in India can be dangerous if we ignore the rising costs of commodities. That's how we can put it as. Anatomy of an outbreak. Let's understand something about Nipah virus. It belongs to Paramyxo family. And this Nipah virus, the host or natural reservoir, that is bat, fruit bat. Now if this bat eats any fruit, bites any fruit, or affects any animal or human, these all becomes the transmitting sources. And it can be diagnosed only through RT, reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. And then early detection of the disease very much important to stop the epidemic. So the Kerala had made a remarkable success in the early detection of the disease and stopping the spreading of this epidemic. So it was able to thoroughly follow up the primary contacts, secondary contacts of the disease, kept them under observation, and this has given yield. And now, if we can see 42 days has been passed away, we can declare Kerala Nipah free. Because the incubation period is 21 days. So another 21 days is been clubbed together. And if 42 days is passed from the last infection, then we can say the disease is being contained. So here identification of the source of the infection is not yet established. So it is assumed that it has come from the fruit fly, but the fruit bat. But to certainty, it did not yet establish. That's what is the thing. Citizenship bill may have to wait for House Note. Let's understand these provisions. This bill proposes that 6 prosecuted minorities, that is Hindus, Jains, Sikhs, Parsis, Christians, Buddhists, these 6 minority groups from 3 countries, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and then Afghanistan, who have entered into the country and living here before December 31st, 2014, they will not be regarded as illegal immigrants. It means we can provide them citizenship. So obviously it is opposed in Assam because in 1985 Assam Accord was signed, and according to this, March 24th, 1975 is the deadline. Any person who has come after that have to be deported. In this case, as the date is December 30th, 2014, 31st, 2014, is the deadline as per the new amendment. Any of these communities which have got and settled in India before this, they will be recognized as lawful citizens. And local Assamese are worried that the Bangladeshi immigrants who are non-Muslims will get the citizenship status now, and which can change the demography there. Singapore, a strategic partner prime minister, and In this visit, Prime Minister Modi in Shangri-La dialogue has asserted the strategic autonomy of India. You know that India appears to be sandwiching between USA and Russia now. So India has clearly stated that a great power game is going to be a zero-sum game. And second thing, recently the CASA Act, countering American interests through Sanctions Act. So this CASA Act was enacted by the Parliament, Congress of the United States to impose sanctions against Russia if it is threatening the America's interests. Obviously, India wants to buy various weapons from Russia, and S-400 is ballistic weapons. These are very much important. And US is not, or else US is objecting to this. That way, India is getting sandwiched. So this is what the Shangri-La dialogue Prime Minister has emphasized on. Great power rivalry is good for none. Finally, I gave you the notes that will be available to you at laix.in/testprep. Thank you, CivilsPrep. Thank you very much. All the best.